let's be honest, ladies, men love to pretend they're simple. They act like all they need is food, sleep, and a little love, right? But that the truth is, beneath that calm, confident surface lies a storm of unspoken desires they'll never put into words. They might tease, they might hint, but they won't say it outright, not because they don't want it, but because they're scared of being misunderstood. Scared you might see them differently. Scared you might not think of them as the gentleman they try to be in the daylight. But when night falls and the world grows quiet, something changes. Mind drifts to a place where words don't exist, only feelings, only wants. And deep inside that silence are fantasies that are raw, real, and far more emotional than you might imagine. The truth is, men crave more than just the physical. They crave a kind of electricity that starts before a single touch even happens. They want to feel desired. They want to feel chosen. They want a sense that the woman beside them wants them just as badly as they want her, not out of obligation, but out of pure, undeniable attraction. Yet most of them would rather swallow their words than risk saying what truly excites them. Maybe they've been judged before. Maybe they're afraid you'll laugh or pull away. So they keep it buried, quietly hoping you'll somehow read their energy, their eyes, their touch, and just know. That's what this video is all about. Pulling back that curtain and revealing what he's too shy, too proud, or too nervous to say out loud. Because when you understand what he secretly desires, those hidden things that make his heart race and his breath quicken, you don't just become the woman he wants in bed, you become the woman he can't stop thinking about. So if you've ever wondered what truly drives a man wild beyond what he'll admit, beyond what he dares to say, stay right here. Because we're diving deep into the 10 dirty things men secretly want you to do in bed, the kind of things that make him crave you, miss you, and dream about you long after the lights go out. Let's talk about one of the biggest secret turn-ons that almost every man has, but very few will ever admit out loud: when you take the lead. Most men grow up believing they're supposed to be the initiators. The ones who make the first move, start the kiss, take control. But what they don't tell you is how exhilarating it feels when you flip the script, when instead of waiting for him, you lean in. When you grab his shirt, look him straight in the eyes, and kiss him like you've been waiting all day. That moment, it sends a shockwave through his entire body. Because suddenly everything changes. He's no longer chasing, he's being wanted. And that feeling of being desired is something men rarely experience even in relationships. They crave it deeply. They want to know that the passion they feel for you is mutual, that you want them, not just because they're there, but because you can't help yourself. Taking the initiative doesn't have to mean being bold or aggressive. It can be subtle. Maybe it's the way you whisper, "Come here," in a low, confident voice. Maybe it's you brushing your lips against his neck and walking away with a teasing smile that says, "Follow me." Or maybe it's you texting him something simple but suggestive before he even gets home. These little gestures awaken a side of him that he doesn't always get to show, the part that feels craved, not just needed. When you take the lead, you communicate something powerful, confidence, and confidence is irresistible. It tells him you know what you want, and you're not afraid to express it. That energy pulls him in like gravity. Because men, no matter how strong or dominant they appear, are deeply drawn to a woman who knows how to own her desire. And here's the secret: it's not just physical. When you initiate intimacy, you're also building emotional connection. You're saying, "I trust you enough to be open with what I feel." That vulnerability is magnetic. It makes him drop his guard. It creates a safe, thrilling space where both of you can explore each other freely. Think of it like music. Most of the time, he's the one leading the rhythm. But when you suddenly take the tempo, he's captivated. You become the melody he can't get out of his head. It's not about control. It's about balance, about showing him that passion can flow from both sides. So the next time you're with him, don't wait for him to make the move. Surprise him. Touch his hand first. Pull him closer. Kiss him before he expects it. Tell him softly but confidently what you want. You'll see it instantly, that flash in his eyes, that breath he forgets to take for a second. Because at that moment, he realizes he's not the only one who feels that fire. And that's the kind of moment that stays with him long after the night ends, long after the world goes back to normal. He'll remember the woman who didn't just wait to be desired, she became desire itself. When you show him that kind of energy, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him validation, excitement, and connection all at once. And that's what men secretly crave. but rarely get. A woman who makes them feel wanted, not just loved. Because in the end, the sexiest thing a woman can ever do isn't about perfection or performance. It's about confidence. It's about that spark in your eyes when you decide to take the first step. It's about showing him without a single word that you want him to. If there's one thing that drives a man absolutely wild, it's not what he sees, it's what he imagines. The art of teasing isn't just about showing skin or saying something bold, it's about awakening his mind. Because once you have a man's mind, the body naturally follows. Men are visual creatures, yes, but what they crave even more is the anticipation, that slow, delicious build up that keeps him guessing what's going to happen next. When you tease him gently, intentionally, you're not just flirting, you're creating tension. You're writing a story in his mind where every glance, every breath, every pause feels electric. Imagine this, he's sitting across from you and you're not saying much, but the way you look at him, that subtle half smile, that slow sip of your drink, that quiet confidence says everything. Your body language becomes the conversation. You don't need to spell out your desire, he can feel it. That's the power of mystery. See, most men are used to straightforward energy. They chase, they pursue, they get what they want. But when you introduce a little unpredictability, when you make him wait just a moment longer, when you pull away right when he expects you to lean in, that's when you light a fire inside him. Because suddenly you're not just another woman, you're a puzzle he can't solve, a rhythm he can't predict. And here's the secret: teasing isn't just physical, it's emotional too. It's about the way you use your words, when you compliment him in a soft, suggestive tone, when you drop your voice a little lower, when you say something that could mean more than one thing. You're creating a delicious sense of ambiguity. He starts to wonder, did she mean that the way I think she did? That curiosity pulls him closer. Even small details matter. The way you walk past him, your perfume lingering just long enough to make him turn his head. The way your fingertips graze his hand and then slip away. These are moments that last far longer than anything physical. Because teasing isn't about withholding, it's about inviting. It's about saying, you can look, but not yet. When you master the art of teasing, you control the tempo of attraction. You become the director of the scene, setting the pace and building the suspense. You make him crave not just your body, but your energy, your confidence, your control. And the best part, teasing makes him see you as multidimensional, not just sensual, but mysterious, playful, and powerful. You're not rushing the moment. You're crafting it. You're showing him that real intimacy isn't about how quickly things escalate. It's about how deeply the connection builds. Here's the truth. A man remembers how you made him feel far longer than he remembers what you did. When you tease him with intention, when you hold his gaze a second too long, or whisper something just out of reach, you're giving him an experience he can't shake. You become the thought that sneaks into his mind when he's alone, the spark that replays in his memory long after the night is over. So the next time you're together, don't rush. Let silence do the talking. Let your eyes, your body language, and your tone weave a story of their own. Be unpredictable, be playful. Give him just enough to keep him on edge, but never enough to satisfy his curiosity completely. Because that's what makes him crave more you. Remember, ladies, seduction isn't about exposure, it's about mystery. It's about letting him chase the idea of you even when he has you close. When you master that balance, when your teasing becomes effortless, he won't just want you for a moment, he'll be haunted by you long after. Here's something most women never realize. Men crave praise just as deeply as women do. They may not show it, they may not ask for it, but inside, they're silently starving for it. Men want to feel desired, appreciated, admired. Not just for their looks or their performance, but for the way they make you feel. And when you express that, when you let him know how much you enjoy him, it lights him up from the inside out. Men are taught to be strong, confident, and in control. But underneath that armor is a very human truth. They need validation. They want to know they're doing it right, that they're enough, that they can still make you weak in the knees. And when you whisper those words, you feel so good, or I love it when you do that. It hits him in a place no one else ever touches, because you're not just praising what he's doing, you're affirming who he is in that moment. Think about it. When a man feels like he's pleasing you, he becomes more open, more confident, more passionate. He doesn't have to second guess himself or hold back. Your words become the rhythm he moves to. Every compliment you give him builds him up, gives him freedom to let go, to give more. And that in turn makes your connection stronger, not just physically, but emotionally too. It's not about fake flattery, it's about authentic appreciation. Tell him when something feels amazing, let him see it in your eyes. Let him hear it in your breath, your tone, your voice, because men notice those small reactions and they remember them. They replay them in their minds long after the moment ends. Even outside the bedroom, your words carry power. When you tell him he looks good, or that his touch makes you melt, or that you love the way he takes care of you, it boosts him in ways he'll never admit. He'll walk differently. He'll stand taller. And when he's with you, he'll feel that quiet confidence that only your affirmation gives him. Here's the beautiful part. When you start to praise him sincerely, he starts giving that energy back. The more he feels desired, the more he'll want to please you emotionally, physically, and intimately. That cycle of mutual appreciation creates trust, and trust leads to deeper, more effortless passion. Men aren't looking for perfection, they're looking for acknowledgement. When you tell him, I love when you touch me like that, or you make me feel so safe when I'm with you, it's more than a compliment, it's connection. It tells him he's not just another man in your life, he's the man. And that's the kind of affirmation that sticks. Because let's be honest, even the most confident man has quiet insecurities. They might not show it, but they question if they're enough, if they still make you feel that spark, if they still excite you. Your words have the power to silence all those doubts. Every sigh, every whispered compliment, every small expression of gratitude becomes a reassurance that he's exactly what you want. So next time you're together, let your voice be the guide. Tell him what you love. Show him that his efforts matter. Praise isn't about boosting his ego. It's about deepening your bond. When he feels admired, he'll open up, he'll give more, he'll feel more. Because at the end of the day, men may act tough, but inside they're tender in the presence of genuine admiration. When you see him, truly see him, and let him know what he means to you, he'll never forget it. That's not just dirty talk, that's emotional seduction. And that's what keeps a man coming back, not just for your touch, but for you. When most people think about what men want in bed, they imagine movement, rhythm, and intensity. But here's a truth very few women ever discover. The deepest desire most men have goes far beyond touch. What they crave isn't just pleasure, it's connection. That invisible electric thread that binds two people when everything else fades away, the kind that makes the air between you feel heavy, alive, and sacred. See, men are often taught to separate emotion from intimacy. They're told to be strong, to not get too attached, to keep things physical. But the truth, the moment he feels a genuine emotional bond in bed, that soft, unspoken connection, it completely changes how he experiences desire. When he looks into your eyes and sees not just attraction, but emotion, it disarms him. It melts away that protective layer he wears with everyone else. In that moment, he's not performing, he's present. It's in the way you hold his gaze, steady, unhurried, as if time has stopped for just the two of you. It's in the way you breathe together, fall into rhythm without trying, and let silence speak where words can't. That eye contact, that unspoken language, is where real intimacy begins. He might not say it, but that's the moment that stays in his mind long after everything else fades. When you trace your fingertips along his skin, not just to arouse him, but to feel him, it hits differently. You're telling him, I see you. I'm here with you. And for a man, especially one who spends so much of his life trying to be strong, controlled, or logical, that feeling of being seen is intoxicating. It's the one thing he can't find anywhere else. True seduction, ladies, isn't in what you do, it's in what you share. It's the connection that happens when you're both completely unguarded, when your movements are slow, natural, and in sync. Not for performance, but for pleasure. When your eyes say everything your lips can't, he loves when you make the moment personal, when you whisper his name softly, when you hold his face for just a second longer, when you touch him like he's someone special, not just a lover, but a person who means something real to you. Because for men, that emotional layer transforms the physical into something unforgettable. Here's the secret: physical pleasure can be found anywhere, but emotional presence is rare. And once a man experiences that with you, once he feels that you're not just there, but connected, he'll crave that energy more than anything else. It's not lust anymore. It's something deeper, something that makes him think about you in quiet moments when no one else is around. It's also why men remember women who make them feel safe. Not safe in a soft way, but safe to be vulnerable. when you kiss him like you're memorizing him, when you hold him close after, when you let the silence between you feel natural, you're giving him permission to just be. And trust me, that's something every man secretly longs for. You can be wild, passionate, and adventurous, but when you mix that energy with genuine emotional presence, you create chemistry that no one else can replicate. You stop being just another encounter and become his connection. Because when intimacy becomes emotional, it becomes unforgettable. It's no longer just about what happens under the sheets. It's about what happens between your hearts. He'll replay those moments not because of what you did, but because of how you made him feel. So remember this: every touch, every glance, every breath can either be ordinary or electric. When you let him feel you with more than his hands, when he feels you in his soul, that's when you stop being a memory and become his addiction. If there's one quality that makes a woman unforgettable in bed, it's confidence. Not the loud kind that demands attention, but that soft, quiet certainty that radiates from her every move. The kind of confidence that says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to enjoy it. That, more than anything else, drives men wild. And it's one of the dirty secrets they'll never say out loud. Men are deeply attracted to women who are comfortable in their own skin. When you move with ease, when you laugh freely, when you don't hide behind insecurity, you instantly create a magnetic energy. He feels it in the way you breathe, the way you touch, the way you let go of control and simply enjoy the moment. Confidence tells him that you're not performing for anyone. You're present, real, and genuine. And here's the twist: true confidence doesn't come from perfection. It's not about looking flawless or doing everything right. It's about letting your authenticity shine. Men can sense when a woman is relaxed, when she's genuinely having fun, and that, more than anything, pulls him in because it's rare, it's raw, it's real. Confidence is also playful. It's teasing him with a glance, whispering something daring, or laughing when things get messy or imperfect. That playfulness keeps the energy light, sexy, and alive. It's what makes him feel like being with you isn't just pleasure, it's joy. You become the woman who doesn't just satisfy him, you energize him. When you bring playfulness into the moment, you strip away the pressure. You remind him that intimacy isn't a performance, it's exploration. It's laughter mixed with heat. It's small moments of eye contact that say, we're in this together. That kind of energy disarms him. It allows him to let go of his own worries about performance or perfection. He starts to match your vibe, relaxed, curious, and fully engaged. And the truth is, men love when a woman enjoys herself, when she's not afraid to express pleasure, to move freely, to guide him gently, or to say what she likes. That's confidence in action. The courage to express your needs without hesitation. When you do that, you're not only deepening his desire, you're also showing him that intimacy is a partnership, not a script. You see, confidence and playfulness go hand in hand. Confidence gives you the courage to take the lead, and playfulness gives you the spark to make it fun. It turns ordinary moments into something exciting, a smile here, a teasing look there, a whisper that leaves him guessing. It's not about being serious, it's about being alive. Here's another secret: when you show that you're comfortable with your body, you teach him to be comfortable with his. When you embrace your curves, your laugh, your imperfections, you give him permission to do the same. You shift the focus from judgment to connection. And that's what men secretly crave: a space where they can let go, be real, and feel free with you. So don't hold back. Be playful. Be confident. Pull him closer one moment and tease him the next. Let your energy flow naturally without overthinking. When you mix desire with laughter, touch with trust, and passion with ease, you create something unforgettable, because confidence isn't about dominance. It's about presence. It's about knowing that you bring something special just by being you. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes him want more long after the lights go out. When you combine confidence with playfulness, you become the woman he can't forget, not because you were perfect, but because you made him feel alive. You reminded him that intimacy isn't just about pleasure, it's about joy, connection, and freedom. And that, ladies, is the final dirty thing men secretly want: a woman who's unafraid to be herself, confident, playful, passionate, real. Because that's the kind of energy that doesn't just stay in the bedroom. It lingers in his mind, his heart, and every thought that whispers your name long after the night ends. Ladies, here's the truth: men may seem simple on the surface, but when it comes to what they secretly crave behind closed doors, they're full of mystery and desire. These little dirty Secrets you've just heard aren't just about passion. They're about connection, trust, and emotional vulnerability that men rarely talk about. When you take the lead, whisper something unexpected, or let him see that wild, confident side of you, you're giving him more than pleasure. You're giving him permission to be himself, to let go, to feel wanted. And that's something every man deeply aches for, but will never say out loud. Because here's the thing, men fall hardest for women who make them feel both desired and safe, who know when to take control, when to surrender, and when to simply be present. It's that dance of energy that turns ordinary nights into unforgettable memories. So the next time you're together, remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being real, about showing up with confidence, playfulness, and a little bit of daring energy that makes him weak in the knees. If you loved uncovering these secrets, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with your girlfriends, because trust me, they'll thank you later. And tell me in the comments which one of these dirty secrets surprised you the most. Let's talk about it below.